Today we are doing the 2010 AFC Divisional game, New York Jets versus the New England Patriots.
Inside the 10.
The can't wait game.
Can't wait.
Unfortunately, the last Jet playoff win to date.
Rich Eisen's here in studio, legendary sportscaster.
I would like to make you the commissioner of the NFL.
Are you kidding?
There's no way you're losing to the Jets at Gillette. This was it. This was like their last shot.
I remember Bart Scott getting right up in Billy O'Brien's face, and like Billy O goes,
Now that is another reason why I love this game.
Touchdown, Jets.
Second quarter hit, and I couldn't believe it. I could make the case that this was Sanchez's best game ever.
More down.
And the Jets went into New England. I thought it was going to finally happen.
Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. Welcome to Games with Names presented by WinBet. On today's episode, we're talking the can't wait game, the stupid can't wait game, 2010 AFC Divisional Round, Jets versus the 14-2 Patriots. We get into Rich being a Jets fan, Rich secretly loving the Patriots because everyone in his loving circle is a Patriot fan, so naturally Patriots are going into him even though he's a Jets fan. We talk about Coach Rex Ryan and his feet loving.
That was a big storyline.
It was a huge storyline.
Oh, Welker. Oh, Welker.
Oh, Wes. That was pretty clever.
That was a great troll job.
He was actually he's a very clever jokester.
Is he like
He was. He put a lot of thought into that, and there was a lot more pranking and stuff pre-me, and those pranksters left, but like you could tell that he was around pranks.
as far as like bulletin board material goes, like that was creative.
It's very, very creative. And then we'll wrap up the show with some questions from you fans and supporters.
I think we even talk about what Tom Brady made you do at the rookie dinner.
Can't even call him a rookie anymore.
First years? What do you say?
Yeah, first years, dude.
Okay.
It's a thing.
I think it's the same at college. You can't say freshman.
You can't?
A lot of colleges are going first year. Crazy,
I mean,
right?
You can't disrespect a freshman who's making like $8 million.
I really.
You
should
know, what I
should
mean?
know to make that.
Who's some senior? Hey, dude, I got INL right now. I'm making $5 million. Shut up, punk. You get my bags. Make sure to check us out. Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, Snapchat, and TikTok at Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to those things. Comment a game you want us to do, and rate and review. Games with Names is brought to you by WinBet. WinBet brings the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas and Encore Boston Harbor to your phone. Join WinBet today and bet with the official online gaming product of Wynn Resorts. Let's go. January 16th, 2011, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Mass.
Rex Ryan and his little foot soldiers versus the New England Patriots football team.
Pull your socks up and tighten those laces because an upset is afoot.
This is
The can't wait game. That's a pro right there.
Yep.
That's a pro.
One and done. Like the Patriots were that year.
Welcome to Games with Names presented by WinBet. Today we have a special guest.
Thank you for the two specials.
Special guest.
Thank you.
That's a 3P. Rich Eisen's here in studio, legendary sportscaster.
Thank you, sir.
Well, you started off on ESPN.
I did.
Then you went to NFL.
I did.
Now you're on Roku.
Now look at me.
And you're doing your own thing. You got your own brand. I just went to the studio, and every time I go to your studio,
Yes, sir.
I kid you not, I'm like, this guy, he knows what it's supposed to be.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate
Professional. It didn't hit me until I rolled up and you park your car.
Yes.
And you're only 30 yards from where you're shooting.
That's it. It's really nice and convenient. I want everybody happy in a nice, chill green room. I don't have anybody do social media in their green. I don't have somebody like shoot a camera on you in the green room. Nice and chill to come out to the set, feel comfortable. So,
Yeah.
but I don't, This is odd for me. I need to feel like I got to put a foot on the floor.
Nah, you just gotta.
You know, I mean, I'm sitting on a couch.
Whatever's
how's the
comfy.
shirt? Am I
You look
bunching
great.
up? Thanks
You-
for saying that.
You look great.
Because
That's
I'll
a
tell
double
you,
look great.
You know, I appreciate.
So we
that.
got a 3 special double look great.
I appreciate that. You know, ever since I forget which season I did 2 Patriot dinner, kickoff dinner MC jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
What year was that? I think I was there.
You were there one year.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have been there for both of them. I don't know. I got invited back. It used to be Berman doing it a lot.
Yeah.
And I sensed from Belichick the one thing he wanted out of this thing was to get out.
Get in,
Get
and
out, and go home. So I remember that. But before I did the event, Thomas Edward Brady was kind enough to sit down for me for my Rich Eisen podcast show that my current show was born out of.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, I thought to myself, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be Xenia. I'm going to wear my Xenia. I'm going to also wear like a nice little merino wool sweater vest.
Yeah.
Or sweater, like a sweater, like a V-neck sweater. That's what it was, not a vest.
Standard.
Right,
Miami.
pretty much standard. And I'm like, so I'm going to just look as good as I possibly can. And then Brady sat down next to me, looked like I was wearing a burlap sack, man. It was the toughest 2-shot of my entire career. And I just figured I'm coming here today with you. I mean, you're not too damn far behind of a difficult 2-shot for me. And then I'm sitting on this couch. It's deep. And you need a foot on the floor. I just, you know, I'm one of those people. I don't bunch well. I don't do that sort of stuff well. I didn't know I could dress down.
I think
what you're doing.
You're doing it okay.
Thanks, pal.
I think you're doing it okay.
Didn't mean to take over your show.
No, not at all. You're not
Okay.
taking over the show.
Okay.
I'm actually intimidated. You're the host. You're
What
a
do you
king
mean?
host.
Yeah, I'm difficult
and
to
now
be the A.
I'm got you in my house now, and I'm
Normally
trying to
the
host.
Q. I know. It's tough to be the A, but what do you got for me? What do you
So
want?
welcome to Games with Names.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And today we are doing
be
the
here.
2010 AFC divisional game, New York Jets
Yeah.
versus the New England Patriots. 14-2 New England Patriots.
Yes, I remember that.
The can't wait game.
Now,
Why did we pick this game, Rich?
Well, Julian, because I'm an asshole. And that's number one.
Standard.
Number two, I don't know if when you came on my show, you were like, hey, you're coming on mine. I don't know if you caught the breadcrumb that I dropped. I said, I can't wait.
I heard it.
Oh, you did?
I heard it.
Very good. So, yeah, this was, unfortunately, the last Jet playoff win to date.
To date.
To date. The Jets then went to Pittsburgh, lost their second consecutive AFC championship game. To date, that's their last appearance in a playoff game. That leads to the largest playoff drought in team sports in North America. So it's not just America, it's the entire continent
All of them.
that we're discussing.
So is that soccer?
I believe all of it. Name
All
it.
of them.
Team North American team sports.
Pickle.
So I'm still reveling in this moment.
Yeah.
And I figured who better to talk about this game with than you? Because I've got questions for you surrounding this game.
Well, but so you're a New York Jets fan.
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
Born
in
and raised.
New York City. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island. Lived there. My brother was a Jet, Met, Knick fan.
Ooh,
So
that's tough.
you don't have to make
Tough
that
living.
noise.
It's tough living.
You don't have to make that noise.
Tough
So
living. Been a
I
decade.
realized early on, though, as a young kid, because I have awareness that my wins had to come from somewhere. I pulled the ripcord on the Mets.
Went Yankees.
Inserted the Yankees because the Yankees had just won, to date myself, I'm 54 years old, the 1976 pennant.
Wow.
They got swept by the Big Red Machine. Reggie Jackson shows up. They win back-to-back World Series. I'm like, that's my team.
Mr. October.
And they're still my team right now. But I've stuck with the Jets, brother. I stuck with them.
It's got to be tough to be a Jets fan. But I tell you one thing about the Jets fans. They love their Jets.
You do?
I mean, I got a little concerned when we retired Fireman Ed, but I
You did retire him. I
But
think the butt fumble retired him.
I do believe, is he back?
He is back.
He's back.
He's out of the ass of Brandon Moore and back
So he's
in the
back.
stadium. Yes, I just saw him at the Hall of Fame doing his Joe Klecko thing for Joe Klecko.
Yeah.
You know, because he wears Joe's number.
Yeah.
Or wears Bruce Harper's number. At any rate, long story short, You know my children are Patriots fans, though.
Because your wife is
Correct.
from
New England. She's from the area. She grew up. Bob Kraft wrote her college recommendation for her.
Jeez.
So we've known RKK, or she sometimes refers to him AKK.
AKK.
Knows him very well. And, of course, me being a Michigan Wolverine, when my children were born and Brady was winning championships and the Jets were not, couldn't push back. Couldn't put my children in the position that I'm in as afflicted. I also thought child services would remove me if I'm like, you got to be a Jet fan when Brady is winning all these championships. So,
I mean,
they're Patriot fans.
you have the excuse because of the Michigan.
Yes.
That's the only thing that's acceptable.
Honestly, even and I would push
What is
back
this, like
on it.
Judaism? The moms, you go to the mom's side? You go to, what is this?
It
Rich?
is like Judaism, yeah. And plus, for the Patriots, the portions of winning, I mean, they're quite significant. You know, my son wore 11 when it is for playing soccer. You know that. He
I
wore
remember
the
you
sticks.
telling, yeah.
When you were so kind to they sent you cookies, you and Gronk cookies. They baked you guys cookies just to show you the world-class operation that the Patriots run. They returned the Pyrex cleaned that we sent it in. Like that's first class all the way.
Our ladies, we had these people in the cafeteria. I'll keep their names, but they were like the best always. Everyone around that facility was a professional. The people that cleaned up after you, the people that were in the equipment room, the trainers, the people in the up. Everyone was a top-notch pro from my experience of being there.
So you're saying everyone did their job, is what you're saying.
But as Coach Belichick would say, you have to do your job well.
Oh, he always said that?
Yeah, everyone would say to
leaves
do
off
the
the
job.
well.
You got to do your job well. It'd always go a little high. Now,
Yes, sir.
top 5 Jets of all time that you love.
Top 5 Jets of all time that I love. Joe Namath is obviously number 1. Number 2, oh gosh, I loved Wesley Walker when I was a kid. Bruce, Freeman McNeil, loved him too. I'll be honest with you, man. I love Garrett Wilson right now, and that is tough for a Michigan guy to say. I love him.
Stud.
I love what he is doing. Like, he brings this mentality to the table that is missed, and his skills on the field are clearly being matched as a professional at such an early age with all of the crap that's gone on there. I'm really impressed by him. I'm very happy that the Jets have him. And Sauce is another one.
Swaggy.
I love him. I was pounding the table for him on my show and during the combine, during the draft. I wanted the Jets with their first pick of that draft to go with him, and then they doubled up with Garrett Wilson.
Did you call Woody?
I did not. I don't have that sort of line.
But you wanted
Sauce.
I
use my microphone as my communication. You know what I mean?
It's powerful. I
thank
think
you.
it's powerful.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like as soon as I got a microphone and I started doing Inside the NFL, now I'm on Fox.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but coaches, GMs, they just call me. We've never had conversations ever.
Is that right? They would just ring you up?
Yeah, like, hey, Jules, how you doing? I'm like,
Oh, that's what they say now. Like, you don't know what you're talking about?
no, they like want to talk to you.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why they're doing that. Are they trying to shape me?
They probably are. You're an influencer. You're an influencer.
Interesting.
Not everyone has a Games with Names pod.
Do you know what Games with Names means?
It's where we're talking about games
With
that
names.
have names. Am I the name, or we names, or the names are in the game?
People that have a name that have a influence around that team.
Yes.
People that play, people that are fans, super fans. You know, we want to hear their perspective, and we're all on a search for the greatest game of all time.
Okay.
The GOG, greatest of all games.
I don't know if the one we're discussing is the greatest game of all time.
No, but it's a fun game. It's a
Well,
fun game. Why is it? Why did you choose this game?
because, like I said, it's
Yeah.
the last time the Jets won a playoff
Last time
game.
Jets
It's the
won.
last time the Jets were in the
And you're
playoffs.
a little salt.
But also, no, but it's not just that. It's just when you get your brains beaten in by the same people, the same organization, and for those people, it is something that makes them personally happy, which it did. When you beat the Jets, it made you personally happy. Others, when you won a game, you were just
But when you beat the
professionally happy.
Patriots,
Say it again.
Wait.
When you beat the Jets,
it didn't make us. I mean,
get out of here. You know, it certainly made your coach happy, and that's for sure. And you took a special glee. After a while, you're like, okay, it's just enough when you kick somebody enough, like you lose the taste of it feeling good. I get it when you're used to it, whatever. arrogant crap you want to feed me right now, or it's the truth. I get it.
Competitive.
But for the Jets that year to prove that the year before, when they went to the AFC Championship game and lost to Peyton Manning, that was not just going to be a one-time thing, that they actually came back and did it a second time. And after Brady and the Patriots got one and done to themselves for the first time, everybody thought this was a no-brainer that the Jets would step on their own, you know what, and that Brady and you and everyone else would come out firing on every cylinder, because there's no way you're losing to the Jets at Gillette to be one and done for a second straight year against a team that had no business, in many people's minds, making the AFC Championship game the year before. That was what made it really, really sweet all together.
I mean, it's a great game for the Jets organization.
Well, speaking of that,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question about this game that I'm here to talk about.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, did you start that game?
I technically started.
Now, why did you start that game? Why did you? I know why you started that game.
I was just
It's
trying
not
to put my best foot forward with the opportunity
beautiful.
that I had.
Now, that is another reason why I love this game, because Wes Welker clearly was speaking for himself, because the whole rumor or whatever was going on with Rex Ryan and his wife and their feet and their love of feet and each other's feet and shoes and anything else to do with a foot went viral, went absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
And his press conference leading up to this divisional playoff game, talking about in just a straight monotone manner, just got to put your best foot forward.
Foot soldiers.
You know, yeah, foot soldier was a good one. Another one is, my favorite one is, you got to be on your toes, was a really good one. So, did you know he was going to do that?
No one knew.
Nobody knew.
I didn't know. Maybe I wasn't in the cool club yet.
You weren't there yet?
I wasn't the cool kid club yet.
Did people know?
Afterwards, people talked about it, and clearly Bill didn't like it.
Did he really just sit him down and say you're benched for a playoff game over that?
He just the first drive. I mean, I was in the first drive.
Yeah.
And then
that's it?
That was it.
And then you only had one catch in that game, that I know.
I think I had a catch.
I looked at the box score coming.
I had a
because
punt
I'm
return.
Professional.
One catch, 12 yards.
One catch, 12
and
yards.
A great punt return there in the second half.
I had a good
little
punt
spark.
return.
Yeah, unfortunately, wasn't enough though. Was it?
I know, and the punter tackled him.
Yeah.
By the way, that's Jack.
Did the punter got you?
The punter got me. He used his leverage very well to the sideline in his help.
Okay.
All right.
Steve Weatherford. Shout out
Steve Weatherford. Oh, he was rocked up though.
And he went to the
was real.
Giants and beat us in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that?
Weatherford.
And
actually,
he had a great game that.
Yeah, Weatherford's not one of those skinny punters that you'd be ashamed of being tackled by.
No.
Weatherford was rocked up.
I got tackled by a couple punters.
Is that
McAfee
right?
got me one time.
Yeah. But man, that press conference where he used the foot and all that stuff, we made a huge amount of that on NFL Network. We had a blast with that. That was next level hilarious.
And that's like the number one thing that Bill doesn't want.
Yeah. That. Exactly. Yes.
The fact that you guys were talking about, because that's just how Bill is. He wants your attention, and he doesn't want no distractions, even though it always seemed like we had so many gosh darn distractions. Like, I didn't even want to swear around you because you give off such good dad vibes.
Me?
Yeah.
Why? Are you allowed to curse on this podcast?
Yeah, you can say
fuck it.
Fuck.
That's great.
But I don't know. I
What do you
don't
mean?
want
What
to
does that
disappoint
mean?
you.
Oh my God.
I don't want to disappoint you.
It's all good, man.
Should we pull up Wes real quick?
Oh, please.
Let's
This
see
is
this.
truly the greatest.
And everybody's putting their best foot forward. You can't just stick your toe in the water, especially, you got your foot up in the air. Want to go out there and just put your best foot forward. He's got great feet. He has good feet. He's another guy who's great feet. You want to make sure that, you're putting your best foot forward out there. So let's go out there and being good little foot soldiers. You definitely have to be on your toes and make sure that you're ready to go.
Oh,
Dude.
my gosh.
If that was around now, that would be so. That'd be a TikTok that would be living.
Everywhere. I know. And Bill would be, you might have gotten a second series out of it. I mean, that was something else. I mean, that was funny. But Bill's got a sense of humor. Like deep down, you didn't think it's funny, but not
when
this
it
week.
comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Not playoff time. Okay, it's
Goes
all
out the window.
business. All business.
Yeah.
He's not about that. He just wants us to worry about the game.
Okay. So that's how you got in there. Jets took the lead.
They
Jets
did.
took the lead.
Well, we had that. We'll get into that, but let's go back to the
sorry.
segment. We got a segment.
I'll be
We got a
quiet.
segment.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I'm terrible as
No,
a
you're
guest.
no,
I'm a
you're
terrible guest.
You know, you're putting me on my toes, and I feel like I got to get my host.
What do you got
skills
for me?
up.
What do you have here?
We have a segment where we go back in the day of when the game was. This
Okay.
game took place January 16th, 2011.
Yep.
Number one movie was Avatar. Did you watch it?
I did see Avatar. It was long and I didn't understand it.
Agreed.
So I didn't
What do you
get
mean you
it.
didn't understand it, guys? It's basically like the same storyline as what's the one Dancing with the Wolves?
Oh, is that really? I never
It's
even
like-
put two and two together.
Yeah.
Just
There's a lot of like
No, I just didn't. I didn't get it.
metaphorically speaking,
You know, here's the problem: is I play in a weekly poker game here in Los Angeles, California.
Molly's game.
No, not
Jeez.
no. It's really.
Any
It's
big names
nothing.
in this?
Huh?
Anybody we know playing this poker tournament or game?
Maybe, I don't know, but I'm probably giving away too much already.
All right.
The only reason why I'm saying is one of the producers of Avatar is in this, and I'm like, why am I in a poker hand with somebody who basically does not care if he wins or loses this hand? What am I doing in this? I'm sometimes in a poker hand with a guy who was one of the ground floor producers and agents involving Cheers. Like, what am I doing? Like honestly,
Deep pockets there, Rich.
dude. I'm like, Cheers is being seen somewhere in Slovenia, making him more money than he's about to lose in this hand with me, so he just doesn't give a shit. That's my
Jeez.
Avatar take.
Whole Avatar.
What else you got?
TikTok by Keisha. Remember that song?
I do not.
TikTok.
I do not.
Kesha.
Kesha,
Kesha.
good one.
She was She had a
Keisha.
couple hits.
Clearly, you didn't have him.
I had them.
Okay, good enough. Kesha.
I'm not a pronouncer guy.
Kesha.
I don't pronounce very well.
Okay, very good.
Okay, I didn't go to Michigan. I went to Kent State. You know what that stands for?
Yeah.
Can't read, can't write, Kent State.
Did not know
We used to
that.
hear it all the time from
Come
Bowling
on.
Green, Ohio, and they used to scream it all the time. But back to the segment,
Yes,
Social
sir.
Network. Did you watch that?
I did like that movie.
That was a great movie.
That is
It
good.
won Golden Globe Best Picture.
Okay, very good. Oh, is that probably, did that happen around this time?
Around
Right, 'cause
this
Golden
time.
Globes are in January. Very
Around
good.
this time. Games of Thrones premieres. Did you get into it?
Of course, I'm a Game of Thrones guy.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. We've had tons of Game of Thrones people on my show.
Yeah.
You've had Jon Snow's on the show. Queen Cersei was been on the show. Oh, yeah. Next time you come, I'll show you. We had them autograph a Game of Thrones board game.
Can you put a note in over there, Jack? Never to play a poker game with the guy that has those kind of guests on his
That's
show.
another one, too.
Yep.
Yeah, make
On
a note.
his
Or
show.
a guy
Make a
that
note. I'm
gets
terrible at
residual
it.
money.
Deep
I'm
pockets.
terrible at it.
You
Yeah.
keep on talking about James Cameron and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Instagram was born. Our
Is
first.
that my first Instagram
That's your
photo?
first Instagram post.
I had no
Cleveland.
idea. Through Husey. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that was. I was
it
on your
like
Instagram.
An app. Like I was with my agency at the time, who I'm not with anymore. That was their, you post it through, I don't know, through that portal. So where was my great scene? Indians game.
Indians game. First post.
Oh,
in
Browns are on this-
2013.
Tonight
Took us
the
3
Browns
years
are
to
on
get
stage.
there, though.
So was that okay? So it must have been a Thursday night game that I was there for Cleveland Browns, and I went to
No,
baseball game the night
maybe
before?
this was in 2013. This is just our first post
Oh.
because of Instagram.
Oh, it took me a while. I got it.
It took you.
So Instagram was born around this game.
Yeah, around
and it
this
took
game.
me 3 years to get around to my Instagram game.
It did.
Is what you're saying. I had no idea.
You're-
What is that? What is that? A photograph of you?
Some hotel. I was being artsy.
Where were you?
That was in New York.
Okay.
I believe. You know where that actually was? That
Where?
was a receivers trip where we went out, and I think like 2011 or something.
Yeah.
We went to the Belmont, and we actually
The horse race.
the horse race
Okay,
right
yeah.
before camp broke or something,
Uh huh.
and we saw Rex Ryan actually post this game. Me,
that right?
Welker, Dante Stallworth,
Okay.
Brandon Lloyd. We all went there and saw Rex. We were all hammered together. He's actually a fun guy to.
Dude, I'm sure he must have found what Welker did.
He
funny.
loved it.
I mean, don't you think?
Well, I think he loved that Welker wasn't in the first drive too.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it was that was our first Instagram.
Giselle must have loved it too, right? Is that too soon?
I mean,
to talk about how she didn't like Wes Welker very much in that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That didn't predate you, right?
No, I was there.
You were there.
I was there,
Okay.
Rich.
Can't
I
throw and
didn't play
catch.
much.
Can't throw and catch at the same time.
Can't throw and catch at the same time. That is an all-time great quote.
What was life like for you in 2011? Where were you at this time?
Where was I? I was
What network were we?
I was NFL Network.
NFL?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
We're
you
turning
called the
20
game
this year.
too.
Yeah, we're turning 20 this year. It was year 8 for us, 2011. It was the friggin' strike year when I lost most of my remaining hair and follicles. That sucked. Holy cow.
Strike year.
Dude. Or the lockout year.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It
I
was the
shouldn't call it
lockout.
strike. Obviously, it was lockout.
We were locked out.
Dude,
Pro player.
that was just doing NFL Network and during a lockout when you're like, oh, yeah, what are the free agent rules? We don't know. We're going to have a draft, I think. You know, we're going to have a season, I hope. You know, and it was my job to talk football every day. That sucked.
Honestly,
did.
that's why I have so much respect for you guys. How you
Thanks.
guys cover so much just airtime.
Well, thank God for Kraft. Kraft and Jeff Saturday got together.
They did.
Kind of cracked that code.
Apparently,
Saved it, man. Yeah, I know the Packers beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl because
They
the
did.
Jets, after beating you, lost to the Steelers.
They did. Tom
I know
Brady won
Tom-
MVP, and we used to hear the old saying.
I can't wait to tell my guy in studio, Chris Brockman, who's a diehard Patriot fan.
I saw him.
You saw him. That you are including Cleet Blakeman in your bullet point here because he is, right? That's a 4-letter word in
Yeah.
Patriot Nation.
Yeah.
What? Because that holding call that didn't come against Carolina, you're still holding on to that?
Yeah, it was
It's
tough.
against Gronk, right? Isn't that what I'm understanding?
In the end zone, and Sports Science put up the video the next day, and then 2 days later, Goodell made him take it down because the Sports Science clip proved that it was holding.
I mean,
I was at the game. I was at that game.
I don't think you needed science to tell.
I know.
Well,
John Brinkus.
unless you include sight as science, eyesight.
One of the however many senses.
You know, then technically
5.
science. I was at that Auburn beats Oregon
Were
game.
you?
Yeah, it was in Arizona. See the photograph of University of Phoenix Stadium against
played the
Chip
champ-
Kelly's Oregon Ducks. And then Cam showed up the next year in that stadium and set a record for most yards in a game by a rookie in his first game. He threw for like 400-something yards against Arizona.
Are you a stat guy?
Huh?
Are you a stat guy?
I just do this for a living.
You're
I
a
don't know
stat
why I
guy.
remember this stuff. Honestly,
You're a stat guy.
I'm not a stat guy.
It's kind of like Bill. He'd always say he wasn't a stat guy.
I'm a story guy. I remember stories. I remember moments. Thank goodness. But like I couldn't. You know, it's like 400-something yards, right? What do I got?
24 of 37 for 422 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception in
He
a
ran one in, too.
road loss to the Cardinals.
Yeah, road loss. He lost.
28-21.
Right.
Oh,
And then Manning played his last game in a
Last.
Colts jersey because then he had neck surgery the next year.
they did, and that's when he put on the glove.
Dude,
Put on the glove. He couldn't grip the ball no more.
we were there for a Thursday night game. It was a Saturday version of the Thursday night game. Look up Colts versus Houston. The year before they drafted Luck, so they come into this game. It was the second to last game of the year. I'm interviewing Jim Irsay on the set, asking him plans with Manning. Are you going to stick with him? You're not going to stick with him? That was the question.
Yeah.
Right? And but it was either Luck or it was either RG3, and it was Colts versus Texans, and it was a rarity that the Texans had actually clinched the division with T.J. Yates. Okay,
Carolina guy.
Okay, and T.J. Yates, who I think early that year before was a throwing quarterback at the combine in that building. Now here he is as the already crowned AFC South champ. They've got nothing to play for, and the Colts have everything to lose and everything to gain by losing. And we were standing on our set watching the game unfold. Me, Irv, Marshall Falk, who used to play there, and Michael Irvin. And the fans are going ape shit as Reggie Wayne, of all people, catches a touchdown pass to win the game. How many seconds were left in that game? It was like the last minute. It was coming right down to it. I forget who was the quarterback of the Colts.
It was Orlovsky.
Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky. I got to ask him about this next time he's on the show.
Orlovsky.
Friggin' Orlovsky hits Reggie Wayne, and the place goes nuts. Like they
24
just won the
seconds
Super Bowl.
left.
Like they just won the Super Bowl. And Mooch and me and Irv and and Marshall were looking at each other like, what are these people celebrating? Like, this is Andrew Luck on the line here. And I don't know what it was, but they were going nuts, totally nuts for this moment. And as it turned out, they still wound up with Luck. And remarkably, Reggie Wayne re-signed with the team. Everybody thought he was going to you.
He ended up with us at the end, but yeah, I remember that.
Everybody thought he's going to be a free agent. He's going to leave the Colts. They suck. Why is he going to stick around for some rookie quarterback? And he wound up re-signing with him. So we thought it was not only the end of Manning's era. We assumed this right there, that photograph was his last time playing, but we also just assumed that Reggie Wayne, this was going to be his swan song too. And maybe that's why fans were cheering.
Oh,
but it was wild. It was wild, man.
Sneaky good game from Arian Foster here. 23 carries, 153 yards.
And it was also a time
he was
when
balling at this time in his
big
career.
time.
He was
Big
a baller.
time. And this is a time when the Texans could never beat the Colts, like ever, because Peyton Manning owned them. But even that, everybody thought, like, this is, of all the games that they're going to beat the Colts, it's going to be this one, and they didn't. That was a wild night, man.
Yeah,
wild.
Thank God. It really didn't prove anything for the Colts either.
Well, and then
they got Andrew Luck, and it still didn't matter. Really.
And now Manning is pulling off, by the way, one of the greatest feats in the history of our profession that you have now joined broadcasting.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning won the Emmy Award for Best Game Analyst, calling games that he's not at. That is the greatest trick, that you stay home, you don't get on a plane, you don't have to go anywhere, you stay in your neighborhood.
Rich.
And you still win. You still beat the people who get on planes to go to games and call them in a booth. It's unbelievable. It's the greatest trick ever. And he owns his company at the same time.
We all know Peyton Manning performs indoors, of course.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, it's
great line.
Indoors.
Great line, Jules.
I'm just saying,
Well
the guy,
done.
you got to get him out in the elements, even though he beat us twice in Denver when we were praying for a snowstorm in 13 and 15. And for some odd reason, it was 75 and sunny with no wind at all, both those games.
So instead of basically saying, I'll provide services to you for salary, to get on planes, to go to games, to not be around for my wife and kids, and just I gotta go places. No, I will instead stay home. You now pay my company to call these games, which I now don't pay you the rights to call. Can you imagine if I reached out to the NFL, even though I'm an employee, and say, hey, I want the rights to call Monday Night Football. Call ESPN. Hey, ESPN, I want the rights to talk about Monday Night Football in real time. I can't even imagine how much that would be. Peyton and Eli, I'm assuming, get it for nothing. They get paid for the right to do it, and he wins the Emmy, the award that's won by people who go to the games. It truly is the greatest achievement, and he's blowing up his own business to, envious revenue streams and different opportunities. Truly is one of the greatest achievements anybody's ever had, period.
He's
the best.
He's a revolutionary type guy. He revolutionates the pre-snap.
He does that
quarterback play,
and he calls it Omaha Productions. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent.
No, you can't say anything about the Mannings.
I guess I agree.
You can't.
You can't.
You might be found.
I'm an honorary
in a
Manning.
ditch,
you know that,
or something.
Because
it's kind of like a mob thing they got going over there with that family.
I'm the lost fourth Manning.
I honestly feel like Archie is making them kiss ring, like it's like Godfather type stuff.
First NFL Network Super Bowl we covered, long before the Patriots were a twinkle in your eye, or you were a twinkle in the Patriots' eye. First Super Bowl we ever covered was the Super Bowl in Houston, Texas, between the Patriots and the Carolina Panthers, when Tom Brady taught Jake Delhomme a thing or two. Yeah. Okay.
Well, Madden called it.
No, it was a CBS game. That's okay.
So wait, who was that? The first? That wasn't their first. That's their third one.
This was their second one.
Second one, and then they went to
the
three.
The first one was Madden saying,
yes,
maybe Belichick needs to
catch the,
maybe they should play for overtime here with this young guy. Okay, right. So this was the second time Brady did it to somebody, and Vinatieri wrapped it up. Right, 2 years apart, but it was our first year, and so we were there, and it was a big moment for us. We were 11 weeks old at NFL Network. Great week. It was the moment where, for all of us who made the decision to go to NFL Network and work together and figure things out, where we realized for sure we made the right decision, and it was awesome. It was great. But the reason why I'm telling you this story is a couple nights before the Super Bowl, a friend and I were invited to the Gatorade suite in our hotel. And it is sweet when you go in there. There's, you know, Papa shots and an open bar and this and that. We went in and there was nobody there. Like literally, it was me and my friend. I don't know what it was. It was a Friday night, Thursday night. I have no idea. Everyone was
What
out
time?
at parties. It's like 11:30. So maybe it might have been too soon for a Super Bowl week.
A little early.
It could have been a little early, but I'm there and I'm singing karaoke to no one
A
because
good dad is always like 15 minutes.
yeah.
See,
but
dad vibe.
I also
Gotta
I'm
be
a
on time.
professional, Julian.
Gotta be on time.
I don't want to. You can tell the people on TV who go to Super Bowls to party rather than work it when they show up on Friday sounding hoarse, like they've been screaming and yelling in bars and whatever. I don't want to ever be that person. I'm a professional. So at any rate, I still, however, was looking for, you know, a drink or two, you know, for on the arm, you know, thanks to Gatorade. I showed up and I will never turn down a karaoke opportunity, literally ever.
Song. What's
Anything
your karaoke
Sinatra, anything
song?
Sinatra.
What's your?
That's life.
You have one song.
That's Life by Sinatra. I kill it. Literally, standing ovation every time. People wanting more. I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you.
Frankie
My
Blue
other
Eyes.
one is My Way by Sinatra. And what I do is at the end of My Way, you sing the big finish, and then you throw down the microphone. You take it, like literally throw it down, walk out of the room, and there's like that big sort of musical interlude when he comes back, and then he sings in, you know, by the end, he did very low. I did it by at that very end. So you throw down the microphone when you bring down the house, and you walk out, and then you come back, pick up the microphone, and finish. Kills every time. Every time. And then the third one is Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. I do a little yacht rock for you. So by the way,
Dad music.
I'm not gonna, it's not dad music. It's called good music. And trust me, if you ever heard me sing it.
My
in a
dad likes that
karaoke
music.
bar, that's fine. Don't stop calling me your father. So anyway, long story short, whatever, keep your daddy issues to yourself. So the reason why I bring this up is I'm singing karaoke, and in walks every Manning, name it, they were there. Peyton, Eli, Cupper, Archie, Olivia, the whole gang walks in, and they see me singing karaoke to my friend. And it's weird, it's awkward, not gonna lie. But it's the Super Bowl, and we're all hanging out, and Eli started singing. I don't think Peyton sang, but Eli sang, and I just turned to Archie, and I'm like, this is a great moment, isn't it? And he goes, yep. And I'm like, what if? And I'm like, I love my parents. I love them. Okay, they gave me birth, life, the whole thing. It's great, and I love them. Would it be a problem if I was adopted by you, just in an unofficial manner, as a fourth Manning child? He said he would. Absolutely. I'm officially the fourth Manning child.
Does he know you're Jewish?
He does.
All right, I'm just making
I'm
sure.
I'm assuming he does.
Those Southerns.
And it's been a long,
Those
long time.
Southerns.
It's been a long, long time since he texted me. Let's see if he has it here. No, it's just, and unfortunately, it's blank. But when he texts me, he refers to me as son.
I mean,
It's a fact.
He's the Godfather.
Should I text him right now? Hold on a minute.
Let's see.
Hey,
if
Arch.
he
Rich Eisen here.
I think you've done this
It's
to me before.
been a long time telling our karaoke story
To Julian Edelman
to Julian Edelman.
on his podcast,
Edelman, hold on.
and he
On
just
his
stated,
podcast. Hold on a minute. Let me promote, despite this being really odd, names with games with names.
Games with
Games
names,
with names.
games with
Okay, great. Games with names.
and then in quotations after or in parentheses after. Can you just put Eli's his favorite Manning?
Do you think this is too much information? It's weird. I mean, honestly, I'm texting him out of the blue right now. Let's just stick with this.
Yeah, all right.
Let me
Hey,
handle
you're
the
the
copy.
pro.
Let me handle the copy.
You're the pro. Guy
do
knows how
here?
to get his
Let
copy.
me handle the copy. All right, telling our karaoke story from the Super Bowl to Julian Edelman.
We love you, and we'll send you your tax money soon.
Okay. And I'm like, can you please confirm
Yes.
that I'm unofficially adopted
Now, does he pay you guys all little? Because
by
of,
you
You know, all the Manning.
and your lovely family?
All right.
Hope you're well, Rich Eisen. Okay? Let's see if he responds. And if he doesn't, by now, I'll send you the answer and you can post it however
We should make a win bet on if he.
Now, dude, I'm an NFL employee. I don't know what you're
I'm just saying. What are the over? What?
Yeah, they're Caesars guys. They're Caesars guys.
Oh, they're Caesars
Yeah,
guys.
Archie
All right.
might-
Dude, is that you up on the screen there?
Yeah, I like Caesar salad.
What is that?
That was.
When did you look like that? When did that ever happen?
That was my conquistador
Okay,
look.
very good. All right, I'm sorry. I'm taking over again.
It's all you just
I secure the ball, get the offense the ball, do my job, and we get a nice return. That's just a little bonus.
And how satisfying is it when you get into that end zone? What's the first thing you're thinking about? Do you look back and do you look to see no flags, or what are you thinking about?
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about the flag thing because of the Chicago game.
Right.
But it's just you put so much time and effort into something, and when 11 guys do something right for 6-7 seconds, and you score the touchdown, and just that, it's just very, it's awesome because
come a long way on the
to do
English.
it, and
We come a long way on the
It's
English.
impressive. That's impressive that you were echoing Bill's sentiments right there. You learned early on, right?
What are you talking about?
It's the guys pulling together for 6-7 seconds. It's kind of beautiful.
You're notoriously known to do the 40-yard dash
Yes, sir.
in a suit.
Yes. At the combine.
Like, how are you taking this for real serious?
No, I never have. Although,
Have you ever pulled something?
Oh, absolutely. One year, I forget which one. It could be 2010, 2009, or whatever. I didn't run it very well. First of all, I used to run it literally in dress shoes, like lace-up dress shoes, and like an idiot.
Did you get on some waffles now?
Dude, it was terrible. Yeah, now I'm running in like proper footwear because the last thing I want to do is blow out an Achilles for this stupidity. But starting about 7 years ago is when we started doing it for charity, which is pretty cool. For St. Jude Children's Research.
What charity?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We've raised almost $7 million with this nuttiness that was born in 2005 out of sheer boredom, like anything that you know, and working in live television now, that sometimes before a broadcast, sometimes when you're taping things, you're just standing around or sitting around and you're falling asleep and you're just like, what is going on around here? When are we going to shoot this thing? And that's what it was in 2005 for the Combine. It was about 2 hours before NFL Total Access. I'm sitting next to Terrell Davis, future Hall of Famer. And I looked down. I'll never forget. We were in the old RCA Dome, and you could hear the buzz of the lights and the air conditioning that held up the bubble like the old Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
And so, I would sit in there. Well, Carrier Dome, isn't that where you were when you once upon a time FaceTime with Vrabel, right? With Brady, right? Vrabel was on the FaceTime. Everybody thought that you and Brady were FaceTime with Vrabel.
Syracuse.
That meant that
he was going to Tennessee.
He was going to Tennessee. So
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. The
I
old
do know.
Carrier Dome.
I've actually been there.
So anyway, so I'm sitting there totally. Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know why I remember these things. So, but I'm falling asleep, and I turn to Terrell Davis, and I'm like, hey, TD, how fast do you think I can run the 40? He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, how fast do you think I can run the 40? He goes, right now? And I'm like, yeah. And he laughed, and I cursed at him, and I said, watch me do it. And I went.
What was his number?
He didn't give me a number. He just laughed like I couldn't do it. And I'm like, so I went down to the field, and I had no idea, because the crew was on break, that there was somebody in the truck hitting record, and somebody on a camera was recording it. And I ran it, and they surprised me with it on NFL Total Access that night. 677, embarrassed.
And now I always see you going against your time, and because
now years later they had the technology when they started moved to Lucas Oil that you can overlay one over the other, and it led to some really slapstick funny moments where I'm running against RG3 and he's off the screen and I'm barely at yard 2. Or they give me a 10-yard head start on somebody who's 350 pounds, and that guy catches up and runs through me.
Is this pre-RG3 getting GMs to call him to come back and play because he knows he's – is this pre or post?
I love RG3. That number that's up there in 2021,
2021.
He ran with me in the Rose Bowl, and he did run like a 4.4, man. He's for real.
He's a track guy. Hurdles, right? He was a hurdle guy.
Real. He is – I'm serious. He is for real. So he's run for charity. He's run for me, or on behalf of my cause. And he couldn't have been nicer.
2 knee surgeries too.
He's for real.
Still going.
He is for real.
We'll be right back after this quick break. Games with Names is brought to you by my friends at WynnBET. WynnBET is bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas and Encore Boston Harbor to online sports betting. Whether you're a recreational player or some serious handicapper, WynnBET is your ticket to every exciting wager, from straight bets to parlays, teasers, and any prop bet you can dream up. all players have access to win rewards and can redeem them for resort credit in Las Vegas and Boston. Sign up today and get in the game online or visit Boston's sportsbook at Encore Boston. There's no better way to enjoy sports than with a little extra winnings in your pocket. Betting is a team sport. Join the WinBet team and bet with the best.
Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
All right, Jack, set the stage for this New York Jet. Let's get in this game, okay?
In the game with names.
What is this game about? What are
names.
these New York Jets about?
We touched on it earlier, but I mean, this was kind of the high watermark for the Jets. Last playoff game, of course. Best season since 98, 11-5. Coming off a season where they went to the AFC title the year before, so this makes back-to-back. Finish with 6 straight road wins. These guys are road warriors. Traded for Cromartie and Holmes the offseason prior to this. Those are big ones.
So is Cromartie.
Beasts. Great toe touchdown he had in this game. Just like he had in the
Was
Super
that a
Bowl.
Wes Welker thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Didn't even mean to be, and it was.
Okay.
Guy was great.
This was also
Great
the Hard Knocks
feet
year.
awareness on the sidelines.
I know.
Foot awareness.
He's a Buckeye.
Buckeye. Can't forget, this was a Hard Knocks season. Gave us the classic.
Wow.
Let's
This is
eat
the
a
last
damn
time.
snack.
Yeah. Yep.
This is the one stat that any Hard Knocks has won a. There's only been one team to win a playoff game that's been on Hard Knocks. I guess it's this team. I just saw that. I heard that stat somewhere.
No, until
Wow.
With the Jets?
this year. No, stop. Keep going. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No. That's kind of the high level, and then it's LT, it's Braylon Edwards, it's Antonio Cromartie. I mean, those are the guys.
And what about these
Should we hit the Pats here?
We were 14-2.
at
Didn't we
you.
beat this team like a week before?
14-2. Beasted them. I think it was 45-3. They said after the game, Rex Ryan buried the football.
Yeah, I remember that.
Buried the ball. Gronk's rookie year, McCourty's rookie year. Traded Moss in
Hernandez's
October.
rookie year?
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
same year, dude. Come on,
all right.
get with it.
I
Is
should
that
know
guy?
that. I should know that. Traded Randy in October.
Oh, I remember that.
Bummer, but we
Remember
brought
that went
back
down.
Deion Branch. This was a long hair Brady season. Had the flow coming out of the back of the helmet, as did you.
Yeah.
Coincidence, or was that purposeful?
We're just on the same page, trying to get on the same page.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
The law
I have not heard that name in a long time.
Went for over 1,000 yards. Led the team in TDs.
When in trouble, called Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
The dude knew
Go
how to
Jets.
read the gap. He could always make the right cut.
Yep.
I tried to replace him. He just outplayed everyone.
Next coach of the Patriots led the team in tackles, right?
That's right. Gerard Mayo.
Yep. Okay.
Rod Mayo. And then Dev made a Pro Bowl as a rookie.
By the way, he's killing it as well.
Yeah, those guys
Dev
are made for
McCourty.
TV.
Right.
Those guys are just,
Yeah, Jason's been great for Good Morning Football.
yeah.
Okay, here's the lead up. Look at this. Look at you guys having the numbers and the stats. And the
We
games.
got a couple things here over at Games with Names Incorporated /.com.
I can't believe the Jets were 9-0 like ever in my life, but that happened.
They were 9-0 this year.
Oh, that year. Well, they were actually, pardon me, they lost their first and won 9 in a row.
Beat the Patriots in week 2.
We played them late in the season too, didn't we?
Then
Yeah,
they
that was
beat
the-
Indianapolis to get to the game. So they slayed the previous year's dragon.
This was the revenge tour
Then
season.
the Jets went into New England. I thought it was going to finally happen. I really, really thought after this game, with LaDainian Tomlinson and Braylon Edwards, Michigan man, and Sean Green and all of those guys, like it was working.
You thought Sanchito was going to bring it all home.
I did, yeah. I thought like Big Ben,
Sanchez.
like this was Big Ben, like sorry, Big Ben, it ain't happening. I literally thought they were going to slay every possible dragon, and then of course they did not,
They didn't.
and they have not
It was
been
a good
back to the
team.
playoffs since. Yeah, they were capped out, so this was it. This was like their last shot.
All in, baby.
This was it.
I just remember when we threw that pick 6. So I think it was on the second drive. Was that the first drive? We threw the pick 6 on the screen. Brady.
I don't think it was a pick six. It was a pick.
It was a pick 6.
Oh, it was Algie Crumpler ran him down. Remember that?
Oh, he ran him down.
Yeah, Algie with the hustle play. Then that led to a Nick Folk missed field goal.
Nick Folk.
Which is
But
odd.
Yeah.
he never misses field goals.
I know.
And then he made a lot of field goals for us in that stadium.
So of course it didn't feel great, that we were down, like I was playing. Jets were down, and then, you know, something like that happened, and you got 0 points out of it. Like, because again, it's one of those proverbial games where, you know, I feel like that way, or after a long ass beating that my school took to Ohio State, that when Michigan plays Ohio State, you've got to take advantage of every opportunity. You cannot leave turnover points on the table. You cannot make a mistake on third down to keep your, you know, defense on the field. You cannot shank a punt. You cannot miss a field goal. You have to take advantage of every opportunity. Otherwise, you're asking for trouble. And then the Jets, the second quarter hit, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, you know, take a 14-3 lead. Of course, you know, Brady doing his, we'll score, you know, you guys are the king of that, scoring last and then scoring on the other side of halftime.
Yeah,
but
10-point swing usually.
Always.
Last shot situation.
Always. I think Bill was the one who's essentially with you guys and Brady, made it vogue to, you know, win the toss and say no thanks. Like, that's,
let the defense
I think
go
that
out.
was about it. Yeah,
let the defense
go out, put the pressure on.
Tempo.
Right, because you knew, you know, that you'd score first, because Tom was just going to be Tom, and you were going to be you, and everyone else.
I wasn't me yet here. I was still slapdick.
I know that. I'm just saying you were going to be. I'm just throwing it out there.
Like
when you became you, that's the way it was going to be. You know, but you know, I thought again, like, we're going to do it for LT, and that LT was part of this win, because how many times was Brady standing in the way? I mean, like, honestly, the number of Hall of Famers that played at the wrong time. It's just like, you know, the number of players that played at the wrong time against Tiger, the number of players that played at the wrong time when Jordan bagged Ewing, Jordan bagged, name it. He bagged pretty much everyone. He bagged Olajuwon until he left, and then Olajuwon had his, and that was the end of that.
I tell you what, this game had bad juju from the jump, just because with the whole West situation, it gave New York a little hope. And then also the complacency that kicked in after kicking the teeth in of the New York Jets like 3 weeks before. Like, we beat them 34-3. I mean, it was bad. What is it, 35-3? 45-3.
45-3.
45-3.
And then, like, so, like, I think that, and then with the...
But Bill didn't say beforehand, like...
Yeah, he did.
He had to have, because it's the same thing that happened, you know, in 07. You know, I mean, but it wasn't. It's not like you won 45-3 in Giant Stadium over the Giants.
No, we had. You can't win until you keep from losing, and we tried to lose this game. If you look at the turnovers, we didn't convert on third down. Rex had a really good plan on third down, where he was doing this blitz zero thing early in the year, and we kind of found it in that 45-3. And then on this game, he was dropping everyone. Remember, he was dropping everyone, and Brady had a whole bunch of time. And we couldn't get anyone open because he had, you know, they were dropping 8 and they were only rushing 3.
You can make the case that this was Sanchez's best game ever. I mean,
he had a couple explosion plays.
But he did what you have to do. And this is exactly the sort of shit that we're talking about with Zach Wilson right now. Like, just make the friggin' layups, make the plays, let your running game do it, the ground and pound. Like, you know, why can't, you know, Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall be the Sean Green and LT? And I know what I'm saying.
Punting's a win sometimes.
Do it, you know,
for a young quarterback.
Certainly when you got a defense like the one that they're fielding right now.
Field position game
to make it somewhat
you got to play the game the right way with a team like the Jets right now.
And I have to also just point out, like, I'm not saying that anybody that's currently running the ball is LaDainian Tomlinson. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer for a reason.
Yeah,
but damn, man,
Breece Hall's electric.
That was it. And just Bart Scott coming in, and, you know, the number of times that Rex would just write checks with his braggadociousness and his comments about not kissing Belichick's rings, which were perfect at the time.
It was fun.
It's exactly what the Jets needed coming off of the Bruce Coslet era and things of that nature. Is just coming in, somebody just putting his you-know-what on the table and saying, this is it. Let's go.
And Bart Scott was like the flag carrier of that thing. Yeah. I remember Bart Scott getting right up in Billy O'Brien's face one time. I don't know if it was this game or another one. And he literally, like, they were like nose to nose, and he said something crazy like, fuck you, something. And like Billy O goes, fuck you. because Billy O was a firecracker, and that's when
Still
I knew
is.
that was crazy. And then he did the post interview, and so
With Sal Powell.
with Sal Powell, where do you think that ranks?
Oh, it's great. I mean, dude, there's a meme. I mean, it's still for.
Can't wait.
I'd love.
He was so pissed
I
off.
know, and that's what we were feeling. Shit, Rodgers was there, and I can't believe 4 fucking snaps in 75 seconds. It's just, you've got to be kidding me. You know, like it was set up for this sort of thing. And at any rate, I mean, this was great. That's-
What did
I
how many
write
times
about
have
it?
you used that GIF? Like
Oh.
on your text chains with all your friends? You
on
probably
occasion, I've
have
every
you?
now and then, of course. I mean, like this is it. But it's so damn long. I mean, seriously, people have been bar mitzvahed since this happened, you know, and they've been born. I mean, geez,
Yeah.
not great since then, but that was a great night. That was amazing.
That was a tough one. That was a very tough one. Best wash receiver to join the Patriots as we clip it off. Torrey Holt,
clip
Reggie
that
Wayne,
off.
Ocho
Come on.
Cinco,
I don't want
or-
to do that.
Ocho
No.
Cinco.
You're not no one ever washed you.
Why?
What do you?
Why do the Jets and the Pats hate each other? Is that just New York, Boston?
Oh, I think it's New York, Boston.
And Bill, the whole napkin.
Well, first of all, Parcells is the one who
He
went from New England to the Jets and then took Curtis Martin.
My favorite.
You know, like my favorite Martin.
from Boomer.
Yeah, I mean, so that was big. But I remember being in the Meadowlands, Jets, Patriots. They played a wild card game once upon a time, but really it was Jets, Dolphins, and Marino fake spiking them, and more than anything else. You know, it really wasn't Jets, Bills. It wasn't Jets, Patriots when I was growing up. It was Jets, Dolphins because of Marino. And it was Shula and Don Shula for the 81 AFC Championship game, or 82, which one year it was. And they had a great running game, great with Freeman McNeil to bring it all full circle. And Don Shula just left the tarp off the field when it poured the night before because he wanted a mosh pit. And Richard Todd threw a bunch of interceptions to A.J. Dewey, and I remember that. And I hated the Dolphins, hated them. And then the Patriots and the Jets it blew up when Parcells,
gave the team over to Bill. And he stepped down.
Right. And because he looked at the owner and he's just like, I'm not working for this guy. I think. I don't know what it was. I've never really had a conversation with him. But he was the head coach of the Jets for 2 days. And he signed a cocktail napkin saying, I would resign as the HC of the NYJ. And then Kraft, paid what it took to get him.
Yeah.
By the way, great move.
Great move.
And then, lightning struck with the 199th overall pick. And the fact that even though I've heard multiple times from multiple people that Brady looked better than Bledsoe in that training camp.
We've all heard that.
And I don't think Bill would have ever benched Bledsoe for Brady. And of course it was a Jet who
they
ushered
just
it in.
paid.
Mo Lewis.
No, they just paid Bledsoe.
Right, 100 million. He was the
100.
first 9-figure contracted quarterback and player in the NFL. And so they weren't going to do that. So, of course, it was a Jet in Mo Lewis who blew up, Bledsoe's innards, sent him to the hospital, and Brady comes trotting out, and truly the rest is history. And I honestly, Tom is one of my favorite people on the planet that I've gotten to meet and chat with. His parents, I ran into his parents after your Super Bowl win in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They were on the street walking from one hotel to another. I was walking from one spot to another, and I saw them.
Miss Brady's the sweetest human being ever.
Dude,
Right?
those
So
people,
sweet.
they were, but just to see their faces with their Super Bowl rings that they had on from previous ones.
Oh, yeah.
That this being the one where, that was the one where, Twitter was as big as it was at the time as a new sort of
outlet.
Spot to share real-time thoughts. Like everyone's like, this is Garoppolo's team now at halftime. Like, this is over. Brady's finally over. The number of times you've heard that, it's stupid. I get it. But it was absolutely the conversation at halftime of that game. Brady's toast. He is over. This is the end of it. You got to go to Garoppolo.
Dilfer.
So I don't know who it was, but it was mostly every human being that had with thumbs, man. I'm serious.
I remember.
Like, that's what was happening. But I seeing his parents, they were so excited. They couldn't have been like,
She was battling cancer right
I
there.
know. It's really just,
So
he's one of my favorites.
It's safe to say you love the Patriots.
You know what? I respect the hell out of them. My family loves the Patriots.
If the Patriots in the Super Bowl and the
separately,
Jets aren't,
just like separately as humans and people, Belichick working the NFL 100 all-time team show with
spectacular.
him was truly
He'd be great for TV.
A top 5 highlight of my career.
The guy knows football.
Being around Belichick for 2 days, veiled down, being a collaborative part of a terrific television program was truly one of the highlights of my entire life, let alone career. Like I told you, Kraft helped birth NFL Network. He wrote the recommendation letter for my wife to go to college. He is incredibly generous. Jonathan donates tickets and parking passes to the Jimmy Fund that my brother-in-law helps run an event every year for the Jimmy Fund. They're like, anytime I send an email, anytime it's within an instant saying we're in. I mean, they couldn't be more nice and and supportive. All of them. I've loved meeting Randy Moss, you, Brady. I mean, Matt Light is one of my favorite people. Okay, I can go on and on and on and on, but collectively, I despise you, and I wish but nothing but the worst for you when you take on a Jets team, which is why this is my game with name right now. If you don't mind me saying that,
I can't wait for you.
Yes.
To throw on a Patriots hat. And just,
to do what? What would I do with it?
I mean, what else? Mr. Kraft, RKK.
I love them all.
You call him RKK. I still call him
RKK, right?
RKK. I mean,
right.
it's
for sure. They will bend over backwards to support NFL Network, which puts a roof over my head. My wife, the mother of my children, who love the Patriots. It's all good. It's great. But but I have to be myself.
Yeah,
I'm still the kid from Staten Island deep down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You are, but you've been,
Even though I know it makes, again, I just told you how much I love Belichick, but I think he'd respect this.
Bill loves it. Bill loves hearing me do his impression. Don't let him fool you. Every time.
I love it.
We got to name this game, so it's the Can't Wait game.
Yeah.
And we score the game presented by WinBet.
Okay.
The stakes of this game.
Yes.
What are the stakes 1 out of 10?
10. We're going to go home? Jets, Patriots, one and done, getting back to the AFC.
Rich, we've had 18-1 on here.
It's
with Teddy.
Win or go home. This is like
10.
lifeblood stuff.
Star power. What's the star power?
Tom Brady's in it. 10.
10.
You're in it. Wes Welker was in it. Rex Ryan and his feet were in it.
Come on. A lot of stars. Gameplay.
But you played in it. What would you rate it?
I would say it was a dog shit game offensively.
Why? Because of the result?
I mean, we couldn't get the offense going. This is offensive league, baby.
All right. So you want to give it an 8? Give it an 8.
Let's give it an 8.
Give it an 8.
The name of the game.
The Can't Wait game. I mean, it's not up there with everything else. It's not up there with immaculate reception, the holy roller, the drive, the fumble. Like, it's not up there. So I'll give it a 6.
A 6. What's our average there, boys? We're not math guys.
Well, I mean, 10 plus 10 plus 8 plus 6, it's 8.5.
8.5.
There we go.
So
8.5. Where does it rank? Look where it ranks on all the people that we've gone.
I think this is fair. Wait a minute.
Right between 28-3 Falcons Patriots Super Bowl and 07 Fiesta Bowl.
I loved that game.
That was an awesome. That might be number 1 in my book.
Boise State Statue of Liberty?
Dude.
Adrian Peterson?
Jared Zabransky?
The underdogs?
Is that the one where the guy proposed at the end?
Yes, Ian Johnson.
We got proposals. We got Statue of Liberty.
That's sweet, but who cares?
Being a New York guy, you would think that
that's all right.
A play design name's...
It's a lovely statue, but come on. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's not what this show's about, is to have a conversation.
It is. We're all about a good, healthy debate.
I mean...
We embrace it.
Can't believe Arch Manning hasn't responded yet. Gosh. I'll let you know when he does.
You let us know. Do we miss anything, Jackie?
Quick stat. Well, we'll count that. Rich becomes the 3rd Manning brother to join Games with Names.
Oh, we have the 3rd Manning on Games with Names.
There you go. Who's the one who hasn't come on? Cooper?
No,
Cooper hasn't been here yet.
Okay.
I go.
But he is a Fox guy, so I think we could get
Copper. My son's, my youngest son's name is Cooper, and sometimes we'll call him Copper or Cooper.
Is his name Cooper?
That's how they would.
That's how they would say it down. Yeah, Cooper.
Cooper.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a cool pronunciation.
Cooper. Yeah. I've seen it.
I wonder how Arch says Hanukkah.
I think he pronounces it Christmas.
Okay.
if I had to guess.
That's a pro right there, guys.
Thank you.
That's a professional. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks,
for
Rich.
coming on
You
with
got
Games
it.
and Names,
You
bro.
got it. You got
You want to plug anything?
Just the show that you've been on, Rich Eisen Show, 12 to 3 Eastern every day.
Roku.
On the Roku channel, Sirius XM. I do a podcast called Overreaction Monday, every Monday. That's doing very well. And it started a podcast network. It's called an empire. Just look it up, people.com. That's what they call it, an empire. Trust me.
Hell yeah.
They do. My wife, Susie Schuster, does one with Amy Trask of the Raiders called What the Football every Tuesday. And
Great names.
these are all names with podcasts.
We got to get your wife on.
Oh, by the way,
Heck yeah.
you would, I don't know if you'd be able to handle that episode, but yes, she would do this show
We got to get her on.
for sure.
Thanks
Absolutely.
for coming on, Rich.
You got it, man.
Thanks, Rich.
Boy, what an interview.
Rich was a beast. What
He's
a guy.
a pro.
Pro
Dad.
pro dad, pro fan, pro everything. Anti-Patriots, but I think he secretly loves
Nah,
them.
he loves the Patriots. His whole the woman he loves, that he had beautiful children with, who all love the Patriots. I mean, it's natural that a little of that blood is going to become patriotic.
100%.
He has such a wealth of knowledge, and he's seen so much, and he retains everything.
The memory was insane.
I mean, he came on. It was his show.
Oh my God!
I
Like
said,
I'm
Rich,
over-
let me get out of the way, dude. He started reading the line. All right, Rich. I messed up the teleprompter. He corrected me. That told me.
He was coming for my job. I'm over here Googling till my fingers fall off, and he's got it all right here.
Yeah.
Insane.
I was terrified doing them because it's intimidating.
Doing them. Pause. Okay, yeah.
I mean, because I went to his operation. I said it. You go to that operation, you're 30 yards from the interview in like a beautiful, crazy studio
Looks
thing.
so sick. You go in there and you hold it toe to toe.
You got a green room. You go on there. It's bing, bang, boom. Then he's out.
Hey, we got a cool setup here, though.
Oh, we got a great setup.
We got a cool spot.
Yeah, he didn't like the lean down.
Yeah, I could see like the couch. It's deep, but you got to have the right body.
Tells me old Dick's a little buttoned up.
He ain't signing. Yeah, I mean, this ain't the ergonomic desk chair.
Nah, I mean, this is a guy who runs 40 in a suit. I love him. He's my guy.
Got to be able to hang on a couch, though. So what if the feet dangle off the edge?
He gives dad vibes.
Yeah, big time.
You know, and
We
he
love those,
wants to
though.
have his posture and, you know, hey, there's a Brooks Brothers sale. Let's go check it out.
Quarter
know?
zips, baby.
Quarter zips.
We got to get him back, get his wife on,
Got
get
his
his
wife
kids, anybody.
I got to do more of his show. It
Hell
makes
yeah,
me
dude,
better.
anytime.
He makes me better. You know, so that right there shows you guys.
Best on
you
best.
know, like he's a Jets fan, and I like learning from him. Okay, it's not all hate between New York and Boston. It's not all hate. Right, Rocky? All right.
Should we roll into some of these fan questions? We got them
Let's do some
coming in.
fan questions.
I
What
mean,
do
we
we
got
got?
these things. We got a stockpile built up. Let's just dive into them. Pulled a handful here. The first one we're taking is from Zachary Bannon. So the question was, how was rookie dinner for a 7th rounder, and how was it as a veteran?
Well, my rookie dinner, we went to Capitol Grill over on. It used to be on Newberry. They changed it. They went to Boylston.
Ah,
but it
yes,
was the
I know
old
the one you're
little
talking
one,
about. Yep.
tucked away near Mass Ave. And we rolled there, and like there's a paying scale. So if you're the first pick, you pay half of it. You know, and then each round it goes less and less. And like I had to pay like $2,500, which was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I my signing bonus was $49,000. You know what I mean? So like I was hurting. But we rolled up to this thing and we made the mistake. We made the mistake as the rookies. We all had a little meeting. We're like, all right, we'll do like we'll give them a menu, you know, we'll give them a set menu and stuff and a set amount of drinks. Veterans came in there immediately. Yo, give us the Louis 14th or 13th. We want the whole bottle. Make it 2. Brady comes in 45 minutes later. He orders like a $35,000 bottle of wine, takes one sip, and leaves. Like we were there for 4 hours. We were bleeding. Steaks, Kobe, everything. I think the bill was like, I want to say the bill was like $200,000. I think Pat, it was like $90,000 or something crazy. Because this is what, 2009? I want to say Pat paid like half of that. And Pat was, I mean, he was our Pat Chung.
Yeah, Pat Chung.
And, you know, he's He was our first pick, but he was like early first of the second round.
Right.
He was a second rounder. So
Out
you
of
got
Oregon.
that. That's a lot of money.
Damn. They said, fuck your prefix menu.
They said prefix menu, get it the fuck out of here. Like, I just remember Tom came in for 5 minutes, ordered like the most expensive bottle of wine that they had, like people come out with white gloves to deliver and like decork it, and the wine come, what are they called?
Decanter? No.
No.
Sommelier?
Sommelier comes out and is like, Mr. Brady, would you like to taste this? I think he just did the tasting. He stuck around for like 5 minutes after that and left. Sitting here just counting my chickens.
Jeez. Next, we have a question from Awake Alive 00 on Instagram. What would your advice be to an Eastern European who wants to go to a U.S. college and play in the NFL?
Get over here as soon as possible.
Yep.
You know, you got to get in and learn football. You know, that's playing. I mean, when you go and you're competing against guys that have been doing this since they were 8 years old, or it's a cultural thing here. It's kind of like if you were to take us and drop us into Eastern Europe and say, hey, how do these guys become soccer? Like, you know what I mean?
Not
You
true.
got to, because there's guys that come over from different countries.
Volmer.
And what
Jakob
was it,
Johnson.
Kuhn? We had Kuhn Kid. We had Volmer. We had a Yak. And it just, I love them. They're all great players, but there's something about like American football. This kid comes from like either Florida, Texas, California. He needs football. Same passion. This is necessity.
Oh, 100%.
Those, you know what I mean? These guys, it's been in their bloodlines for generations. Their dad played. Their moms were the cheer. Like there's so many things. And so like when you see that kid across the line who's not from here, and I'm trying to help you out, so I'm telling you, get here as soon as possible so you can adopt these things and these necessities to play in the game.
You got to shake that rawness off you.
But when there's guys that are uncomfortable and don't know that and like don't have the technique that are just naturally built into you because you've been playing football for such a long, time, it's hard for those guys.
No,
it's very hard.
Seriously, get your ass over here.
Like, I mean, Sebastian, he came over. He was an unbelievable football player. I think he moved to Houston to learn how to play tackle, and then came and had a great career. But like, I remember Volmer, like he's very German, and his accent always made me laugh. But like he was so in tuned and so studious of the game. So I might basically get over to the U.S. as soon as possible. I hope I don't piss off Seabass for saying anything, or Yak or Kuhn. Yeah, get over here ASAP, because these kids are already trying to take off everyone who's playing right now in the National Football League's head.
Amen. Get on over here.
In 8th grade, there's someone there.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the next Parsons?
Let's bring back NFL Europe, baby. I need the Rhine Fire.
I know. I wish I got to play in NFL Europe. It would have been so fun to like play for the Frankfurt Argonaut. What were they? The Frankfurt something.
There was the Hamburg Sea Devils. Oh, the Frankfurt Galaxy. Most titles in NFL Europe history.
Yeah, the Frankfurt, right?
Yeah. Good.
I remember hearing
Dude,
about
good
that.
pull, bro.
Barcelona Dragons.
So sick. All right. This one comes from Instagram as well. NGLad23.
Hope the Europeans don't hate us after that.
No, they love us.
I mean, but this is American sport.
We got fans all over. I was looking the other day. I scour these charts. I think we're the 90th sports podcast in South Korea.
South Korea.
We got to get over there.
I got to get to Seoul.
I'm down, bro.
Let's do it. What's our next question, Jackie?
All right, let's get into it. NGLad23. How close was Julian to playing for Tampa?
I wasn't really that close to playing for Tampa. TB hit me up, and he was kind of feeling it out. You know what I mean?
It wasn't an explicit. It was like a.
It was kind of. But it was more of a sarcastic. Like, do you want to come in? It was one of those.
And then like you look like.
And I thought about it for a second. I was like, I don't know, man. Like,
Foxborough forever.
Foxborough forever.
All right, and our final question comes from the Jennifer Effect on Instagram. What's the best way to break a sports curse? Burn sage? Spellcasting? Some weird ritual?
I've never really been a part of a crazy curse. when I was a kid, San Francisco, I mean, we had, I guess, the Giants, the Rally Monkey, stupid Rally Monkey.
Or was that
Anaheim?
That was Anaheim. Yeah.
Like, we were winning, and then I guess the Warriors, but they came out. Now they're like the Warriors. So I never had to, like, even think about curse actions or reactions or ritual type things.
Yeah, like kind of like the Rex Ryan we talked about burying a football to get that stank off him when the Pats beat him that season with Rich. Anything as a player that you did? But you never in like in a big
I was just
slump,
very
were you?
superstitious, and if like I listened to like In the Air of the Night by like Phil Collins, like I want to say against Miami of Ohio my junior year, and we ended up losing the game. I never listened to it again. Like fucking hated that song. Anytime I heard it, I would turn it just because like I had that picture of me trying to like.
No, I'm with
So
you.
if I'll keep it routine, and if I remember something that I did out of the ordinary for that specific game, I will never do it again.
Like talking to a celebrity.
Fucking John McEnroe.
Jeez, Johnny Mac. Come on the pod, but we will not forget that moment ever.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever talked to someone pregame in the locker room celebrity. I mean, we had John Kerry, we had Bon Jovi, John Bon, that's my guy.
Love
but
him.
we always saved it for
JBJ.
after. Never before. John McEnroe comes up. I just watched Borg versus
One of your
McEnroe, so
faves.
I was in the tennis fever. We ended up losing the game. It was Brady's last fucking game. Thanks, John McEnroe. Yeah, I got his cleats back there. I took those cleats.
We still love you, Johnny
So
Mac.
hopefully the
Damn.
FBI doesn't come snake me right now like they did to the guy who stole the jersey. But we
Freaking-
still don't know who fucking killed Tupac. Yeah, we know who got Tom's jersey. We don't know who killed Tupac.
Jeez Louise.
All right, well, what an episode, Jack.
That was incredible. It's
fun.
Get Rich back. He was
We
a
gotta
beast.
we gotta bring our A game. I feel like we have to get better because he just felt buttoned up.
Yeah, you want to raise the stakes. Like you always played better in the biggest games. You podcast better with the biggest guests. I'm still not quite there yet.
I'm not there yet either, though. I think we got to keep on working.
Nah, you killed it, baby.
He's just so professional,
I
and I
know.
just don't want to disappoint him. Thanks again to Rich. That's been another episode of Games with Names presented by WinBet. Remember to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X/Twitter. Still don't know what that is. TikTok. Are they making us pay for TikTok X or X?
If they make us pay for X, I think I'm out. But until then, I'm
Well, still follow
I'll ride
us.
it.
Follow
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
Follow us.
still
That'd be
follow
good.
us.
And
pay.
of course,
Hey,
Snapchat. We're on Snapchat
we
as
love
well.
Snapchat.
See you next week, guys. All right, Jackie, let's
all right,
go.
guys. Later.
Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.